air, right? Your blender, blending oxygen and medical air. This is where we set our FiO2. So for our question on the quiz, we would have set it all the way up here to about 52-ish, okay? If we were just starting food, down to 21%. Make sense? Blender. Phil, I want to make sure you're clear, dear. What's your question?
I'm still kind of thrown off about the initial setting because if you're putting a baby initially on a CPAP, don't you start up there? So you don't start with the initial setting.
When a baby is on vapotherm or high flow nasal cannula of 8 liters, how much oxygen are they on?
52.
It's like
No, I understand that.
So it's that 1 for 1?
I understand that.
You're
but-
talking about the pressure?
Yeah.
So the pressure, because that baby was on 8 liters of high flow. So this is not nasal cannula. This is high flow with pressure, 8 liters. You just needed to think they needed a little bit more. And really there was only one question that had the correct FiO2.
I didn't look at.
So it was really not about the pressure. It was about, could you identify the FiO2? Are you clear on the initial setting?
Yeah.
So here, I'll give you another example, Fu. I'll give you another example. You're gonna have a baby who is come from post-resuscitative care, and you're delivering pressures of 30. Where would you like to set their pressure at on CPAP?
I guess 5?
5 is fine, but you could go all the way up to 6 or 7. All I want you to see is that that's not baseline. So I might want to give them a little bit more. And then what we do, everyone, what we do, just like we do when we put a patient on the vent, we listen and we look, take a chest x-ray. If I'm hyperinflated, I'm going to turn it down. Does that help, Fu?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to be comfortable. I don't want you to be misprofited. Are you okay?
I'm good.
All right. If you have more, you just let me know. All right. What's C?
Heated humidification system.
So on this particular stand stick pole, and this one too, you guys, these are both of our CPAPs that you'll be working with at the end of the term. Some of you asked me, do we have a practical final? We have a practical and a written. The written will be no different than this one, except more questions, because it encompasses all. But your practical is putting this little guy together. So we're going to visit CPAP again. When you leave my class, NRP and CPAP should be ingrained in your souls. Why? Probably the 2 most common things that you use in the world of the NICU. So I want you to be confident in them. All right? For my exam on Friday, you're not putting this together, except for you're putting it together on paper. All right? And we'll have more time to practice maybe in the term putting this together. All right, so I've got stand stick pole, which includes my tubing, so I don't want to see any gas source on your questions, the 20 on Friday. Okay, that's part of your stand stick pole. Blender for FiO2 mixture, heated humidification system, or just humidification system, sorry. And in humidification systems, on these 2, these are old Concha units. This is the one that has the Concha insert that gets replaced with each and every patient. Has a water feed. On the newer Fisher and Paykel unit, it's just exactly like the heating unit that you use for ventilation. The inhalation water drip bag down to the pan heat. All right. What's D?
D is the flow meter.
So flow meters. Hopefully by now all of you know what a flow meter is. Now, quick question. Fu, this is not me picking on you, but I want to ask you a question. If I have FiO2 set here at 30, okay? I'm going to put on 30. 30. There's 30 right there. And I have flow set at 15, or flush. How much oxygen am I delivering my baby?
30.
Perfect. Perfect. That's the beautiful thing about using the flow meter. This is strictly as its name involves. It's flow. It's flow. Now it's different on adults because we don't have this interface dilution. It's straight oxygen from the flow meter. Blender, flow only. Okay, so flow meter. Next.
Next is your Christmas tree or the O2 source adapter.
Yep. So O2 source adapter or Christmas tree. Christmas tree. Next.
Is your O2 tubing.
O2 tubing. Standard O2 tubing. Right? This one is unique in that a lot of facilities are going to this. I like it. Has already the screw adapter, so I don't technically need the Christmas tree. So if I didn't have it, I would not be remiss because this goes right on here beautifully. Okay? But if you have the older O2 tubing that has just this unit on both sides, then I do need the Christmas tree. And then I connect it. I can also connect this side right onto the Christmas tree. Okay, next.
Next is your O2 nipple adapter.
Okay, so O2 nipple adapter. So it has the Christmas tree on top, but it has this nice 22 adapter on the other end, hence why it's called O2 nipple adapter. O2 nipple adapter. Okay, next.
Is your 9mm and your 22mm adapters.
So 19, it's 19, not 9.
Oh, oops, 19
No worries, 19.
and 22. And
So
you
here's your 19, and you only need one 19 and you need 3 22s. Now I have several different versions of 22s here, and every facility will have different ones. Some clear, some blue, there's some rubberized silicone ones. So you need three of those. What's next? T-pieces.
T-piece adapter.
So I need how many T-pieces? 2. I have several here again showing you different colors. Okay, same device, T-piece adapter. What's next?
Is your O2 analyzer.
Okay, here's my O2 analyzer. They look like this. This is a mushroom. We call this like a little mushroom robot. There's also a box one that's beige. It's about yay big. All you're doing is this is going to go in line to confirm what you're delivering via your FiO2. I'm on fire right now.
You're doing pretty good.
Woo! Okay, next.
Is your pop-off valve.
Pop-off. So, looks like a PEEP valve, right? I would prefer you not use PEEP valve. I want you to use pop-off. It's why I didn't give it to you last week as an option, pop-off or PEEP. I want you to use it as a pop-off.
But it is a PEEP valve.
It is a PEEP valve, but in this system, it's used as a pop-off.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the kind of the one high pressure sensor that you have on this non-electronic device. So that's your pop-off.
Heated wire neonatal circuit.
Okay, so heated wire neonatal circuit. Here it is. How do I know it's heated wire? Well, I can look in the tubing and there's a heated wire in there. I can also tell because it's got the prong adapters for your heater. This circuit, that concha, this circuit, the Fisher-Paykel, no go together. Okay, these are old circuits, those are old conchas, so just know this is your heated wire circuit. And what did these put down? You put heated wire?
Heated wire neonatal circuit.
Perfect. Please make sure that you say neonatal. So heated wire neonatal or neonatal heated wire circuit. Because I'm not going to use a pediatric. I'm also not going to use an adult circuit. It has to be a neonatal. Next.
Next is your water column.
Water column. Yes. The water column. Where'd you go? Ta-da. Water column. This happens to be the Sutter system. So the Sutter system. I'm going to fill to the line of 0 with my 25% acetic acid or sterile water. And then I'm going to insert my tube. I'll use this one, this isn't correct, but I'm going to insert my tube down to the location, so this would be about 5. Alright, so that's your water column. Think of your water column as the pressure source. This is where you're going to get your 3 to 5 centimeters of water pressure, or whatever it is you're putting your baby on. Next.
Your sterile water or the acetic acid.
Okay, so that's the fill.
And then the pressure manometer.
So pressure manometer goes on your circuit. And I have that note. I have the note over here on the board, the Miss Profit pressure manometer. So the reason I put that note up there is I want you to always know that your pressure manometer needs to be as close to patient as possible. I want to catch pressure changes from baby. I want to catch pressure changes before it gets to baby. It's probably a better way to look at it. All right, so if there's a pressure change in my system, kink tubing, somebody bumps it, whatever the case, I don't want baby to automatically get that pressure. Now, with the pop off, it should kick it off, but this is also going to tell you where your pressures are. All right, so that's why it's close. Next.
Is your nasal or your nair prongs.
Okay, so on this particular one, here's your nair prongs. This is a pretty good size nair prong. Probably easily a 4 kilogram, 5 kilogram nair prongs. These are really, really large. Next.
Is your headgear or your bonnet.
Okay, I don't have headgear and bonnet in here. Headgear and bonnet looks like a beanie. All right, looks like a beanie.
Why do you need
Headgear
it?
looks like a.
So when you put the, I'm gonna use this as baby's head. So baby will have the prongs on in their nose. Ooh, put this in here better. So have the prongs in their nose. You're gonna have to, oh, I got this all inked up. You're going to have to connect the tubing to hold the nairs stable. So the bonnet and the bonnet helps keep these two along the sides of the head.
So there's like a special CPAP hat.
It comes with the nairs. So all your nairs come with your, nair prongs. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second because I didn't have one with me. So I'll show you those. Most of them look just like the exact beanies that all babies get. They're pink and blue striped, and they just pin them. So they'll pin the tubing to the side of the nairs. Some of the bonnets have little Velcro tabs that will then hold the prongs in. Sometimes we use tape. This is not a highly complex and or technical maneuver. Kind of whatever works to make sure your prongs are stable. Next.
Cannulate.
Cannulate. So I showed you cannulates last week. All right. I did learn UC Davis is no longer using the cannulate. They're using, what did they call it? Nexpolite? Thought you might know what it is. It's like Tagaderm, but it's clear. And it comes in a sheet, and so then they're doing they call it crafts. They're doing crafts to make a little nasal
Probably
coverage.
like the ones that they use for BiPAP.
Maybe. So it's got a sticky side.
Yeah.
So that's all they're using now. I've never seen it. Does it come in squares? We know
Yeah,
how
it
big
comes
a
in a
square
square,
is?
and they kind of, for BiPAP, they like cut one corner off, so it kind of just goes like this.
Like a triangle. So it comes in a fairly good sized square.
They probably just cut sides. and
Okay. All right, so that's what's being used. Cannulate, you guys, is perfect for the exam. Next.
Measuring tape.
So measuring tape, all of you, anybody not know what a measuring tape looks like? So the reason measuring tape, if I had a sterile water bottle, I could measure up the centimeters by just increments on the pressure on the tape measure. All of your L&Ds are going to have a tape measure. Why?
To measure the baby.
Yeah.
The baby's head.
It's how we measure how long your baby is when they're born. Okay, so if you're 19 inches long, that's how we got the measurement. Go ahead.
Sorry, rubber band.
So rubber band. Rubber band is utilized. You saw me instill this into the pressure of 5. Rubber band then goes on the outside here to keep it from moving around. You can see I can kind of position this too, and it won't move. Okay, so but the rubber band, that's what that's for.
OG2.
OG, all familiar with the orogastric tube, okay? Why do I use the orogastric tube? Yeah, I still have, even with CPAP, some air going into the stomach. So I need to have a source to draw it off.
You
Next.
need a baby.
I need a baby, a distressed baby. So distressed, very key, distressed baby, because I'm not gonna put just any old baby on CPAP. And then last but not least,
A physician order.
the physician's order, okay? On your exam on Friday, I do not need your equipment list in any special order, however your brain wants to recall it, as long as you recall 20 items. Your story, part 2, the B, part B, part 2, whatever you want to call it, needs to kind of go in order, all right? Kind of going in order. So, stand stick pole, you've got the flow meter, you're going to connect your O2 tubing. I'm going to put this together for you. So 22 millimeter on the bottom of your concha, all right? So you're still recording?
No, yeah, I'm right now.
Right. So 22 on the bottom, AT piece on top of that, all right? On top of that, another 22. On top of that, another T piece.
Whoa.
And then on top of that, your nipple adapter. Now you may have noticed that I am not shoving this on here. Please don't. When you start shoving things on this particular concha, you start cracking these. You get little fine cracks in here, you're never gonna get a good seal for your bubble CPAP system. So you can put it together outside or you can put it on here. If you put it together on here, just don't jam it on, all right? So here's your tree. The bottom is going to get your additional and last 22. Oh, I forgot the step down adapter. Holy smokes, that wasn't in the list. So you got another one. Here's another piece. Hold on, David. Step down adapter. Put this up in the line somewhere right around your 19 and 22s. You need that, your step down adapter. How in the world did I not get that?
Want to do that afterwards? After the 1922 adapters?
Yes,
or
yes.
millimeter adapters?
Yes. David, what you got there?
I was just gonna see, can you write it down so we can see it?
See what?
I know we're recording.
See what?
Oh, the pieces, the order.
In your left hand? How you put it together?
Sure.
Now we don't know what we're doing.
So, bottom to top. 22,
It's okay.
T, 22, T, nipple adapter.
So humidifier is on the bottom. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Off of this T is a 22. Oops. The step down. That's what I didn't get to yet. So step down adapter. So I put the 22, step down adapter. Oops, sorry. Step down adapter. And then your pop. What's that? Oh, pop off. And then this is a great place to put your settings. So I'm gonna do the water, okay? Off this T, O2 analyzer. Okay, so that goes right here. Doesn't need any special adapter. Fits beautifully in that T-piece mount. There's your tree. All right, there's your tree. That then goes right on here. Doesn't matter what side, because CPAP stands for continuous. I don't have an inspiratory, expiratory. Same with your line, your circuit. I don't have an inspiratory and expiratory, so it does not matter what side I put on the other side of the concha. Okay? And then this goes in my water adapter down to my level. Then there's my system. This is all kinked up. All right, so here's my system. The last and final check on this, you guys need to make sure you include your settings. So we've already gone over the settings, right? The last and final thing that you need to do is confirm that there's patency and that this system works. So if I have the water column in there, I just occlude these. and you will have vigorous bubbles in that water column. Because now your circuit is patent and you will have pressure. Things that will not give you pressure. You've got a leak, a crack, something's not set up right. You don't have your pop off at, well, Miss Prod has a huge leak right now. You don't have your pop off 2 to 3 above, okay? You don't have that set right. That'll cause you not to get bubbles. Like Miss Prophet has. I don't have my O2 tubing connected to the top of my nipple adapter, right? So I'm getting no flow. I got a system going nowhere. Another thing that will cause you to have an issue with your system is that if you have these open, let's say this one's off, now I have a big leak again. So I always think if something's not working, you have a leak somewhere. So then just troubleshoot to see where your leak might be. Okay? We good? Go ahead, Perrin.
What's the 19 millimeter for?
So the 19 millimeter, this circuit is not put together right. Okay, so this is how it should be put together. All right? This extra little piece comes in your circuit packet. Normally, if we're using, you might use this sometimes if you have inhaled nitric oxide on a vent. The only time we're going to use this piece for bubble CPAP is with the Sutter system. So this one. And how it works is I put the 19 millimeter in the side that's not connected to the concha. That makes that fitting beautiful. Then this gets inserted down into the water column. All right? For the Davis system, and I'll go get my Davis adapter or my Davis water column because it's different. You don't need these 2 pieces. You don't need the 19 and the extra piece. This just goes right on the top of that adapter. I'll go get it so you can see it. That's the only difference. The other difference between that and the Davis system is this one. Remember I said we fill to the 0 mark? Fill to the 0 and then instill the tubing down to the pressure desired level. With the UC Davis system, we fill to the line of pressure because there's a tube that goes down inside of their water column that gives us pressure. That's how you know which side of that column to put this on. It's the side with the tube. It also says inlet, and I'll get that to show that to you too. Anybody else? Pause that for a minute, I'll go get it so we can have it on the video.
I can't pause it.
When does your
She's gonna keep going until he gets out.
well, then he's ready to stop. That's a 23.
Yeah, right? People want it all the time. All right, so here's the UC Davis water column. Marina, are we rolling again?
Yes.
So Sutter water column, UC Davis water column. Again, the Sutter system I must fill with acetic acid or sterile water to the 0. Then I instill the tubing down to the desired pressure, the base of the tubing. So right now I have it at 4. Okay, so that will give me 4 centimeters of pressure. Whereas with the Davis system, I don't need this additional piece or the 19 to adapt it. The piece of my circuit goes right on the top of my UC Davis where the tube is down in. It says inlet. And then I feel, like I have 4 marked right here, I would feel to there for 4 centimeters of pressure. So that's the only difference. That's the only difference.
How do you just what, turn the inlet to adjust it for pressure?
Now I add more.
Oh, you add, okay.
I add more fluid on this one right there in the top. Now, one of the reasons to use acetic acid versus sterile water, acetic acid does not have as quick of an evaporation point as water does, so I'm going to be less having to add fluid to this one and that one during the process of baby being on CPAP. The other thing is acetic acid has a slight antimicrobial aspect, so things do not begin to create germs. All right, and there it is. All right, I will leave all of this up here for you to come put your hands on, play with. I would ask that you not take the nares and the pressure manometer off. So leave this.